How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So can your data or location be exploited through, say, Garmin technology or other satellite technology? That's what I get asked all the time. It's crazy how many people say, oh, well, that's not a real tactical watch because I would never take that into a combat zone. Okay, why are people thinking that? And two, are they wrong? So we're going to dive into the details of how can this device be exploited in certain conditions, and ultimately, is it safe or is it not? Now, of course, diving into this is a Tactics 8, this is a Tactics 7, I got the Instinct over here, and I have a Garmin Fortrex, and then the InReach Mini up here. Now, of course, all of these here on the table are receivers only. They're not transmitters. This is a transmitter and a receiver. So that means there's two-way communication going between that device, but not these ones via satellite. Not when it comes to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, which we're going to discuss, and how can you articulate around that. So inherently, from the satellite system itself, the satellite has no idea that these devices exist or are around, other than maybe the coding in it that they're supposed to receive. You hit the button and they just show the location. The satellite isn't getting information back of your location. So inherently, this is safe at the moment. Now let me dive into more details with this, of course, how it can be exploited. Now, GPS is typically a term that everybody's familiar with, or Global Positioning System. Now, technically, everybody uses a general term, but actually, it is a subset of GNSS, or Global Navigation Satellite Systems. And there are a ton of systems out there, right? You have GPS, of course, which is American-based. You have GLONASS, Galileo, Beidou, and there's a few others out there as well. And each one is their own kind of countries, systems that they use. Now, these devices, the Garmin 8, Tactics 8, and Phoenix series and stuff like that, and the Instinct series, can utilize some, if not all of those systems to get better accuracy. So the sketchy thing is where you go, okay, I'm using a Chinese or a Russian satellite system to find my location. And that sounds really sketchy, and honestly, it does to me too. But when you really dive into it, it doesn't know you exist. You're just pulling the data in a way from it, but you're not taking information back. So again, whatever system you don't use, it has no idea. This increases accuracy. If you're just using GPS, it is only pulling from GPS data. Now, if you use others, say GLONASS or Galileo, which is the European system, GLONASS is the Russian system, now it's giving you better specific accuracy. Now, of course, if we would go to war with some of these countries or a conflict of some sort, they would probably turn off, the capabilities of some of these devices. And GPS even has a clause in there that says, hey, if we go into a massive critical war, we are going to pull and suspend system or civilian systems on our GPS. The government installed GPS. They're loaning it in a way to us. So that, in a way, is odd, but it's not exploitive because it's a receiver only. Now, once we dive into, other aspects of it, how can it be exploitive to you? Now, this is where it kind of gets a little bit sketchy, in my opinion, and we're going to get into hypotheticals, and some of it you can connect the dots. Now, of course, as I just explained, satellite system doesn't know you're there, you're requesting data from it, and now with a Garmin device, you are getting that data, and it's tracking your heart rate, it's tracking other stuff, right? Whatever it is, your run, your lap times, and the Garmin app, it will sync, right? The Garmin app and the Garmin device will sync, and that information will get uploaded via Wi-Fi into a server. So potentially your information is on a server somewhere. Now, this is where the hypothetical is a hacker could come in and backdoor into that server, right? And exploit your data out of it. Now, Garmin, of course, and other, Apple and, AT&T and all these other folks are going to say, oh, that's impossible. We have great encryption and stuff like that. But if you just Google and see how many hacking issues there have been in the last 10 years, you're going to see notable countries getting hacked. And that is a potential exploit that you could face of getting certain locational data. Hypothetical, of course, but we have seen hacking. So there is a minor risk. Now, the other one aspect that you may not even be aware of it, but yourself is giving your data away without you really realizing it. And that is, after you go for a run, it gets uploaded to the Garmin app to the servers, and then the servers, you take that data and you post it willingly on social media, as in like, look how good I did my 5K run. This is where I did it. This is so nice. My calories and blah, blah, blah. You're going into it. And someone can exploit that data and find your location based off of habits. Creatures of habits, you typically run there. This occurred in Russia. I'm not going to go into details about it, but this ultimately was one of the reasons too, which this happened in the future, but why the DoD does not allow these in certain locations around the globe. The military says some places you can use this, but other places you can't. And it is because of that mainly mention, not exactly the GPS or the GNSS systems. It is you just accidentally exploiting your own data out to folks. So if you're smart about it, you can kind of prevent that. Now, the cool thing about these devices too is if you dive into it, they have special systems that like stealth mode on the Tactic series. Now this is kind of like airplane mode for your watch, meaning, hey, we are not taking in any more data. It turns off Bluetooth, it turns off Wi-Fi, it takes off location saving, and that data won't be uploaded into the Garmin app anymore. So in a way, it isolates you from all that other potential situation going down with the servers and the app and the hacking, and then you accidentally prevent or getting your data out there. It's like a blocker, which is pretty cool. But there is some trade-offs too, because when you have this system on, then you're not allowed to use weather. It doesn't update your weather. It doesn't update certain sunset. It doesn't update certain sleep scores or whatnot. It won't send it so you can look back on it. Now, some folks are okay with that, and some folks aren't, so that's just going to be a determining factor. If you like the convenience factors of this, yes, most of the watch will still run. It's just you're not going to be able to get the benefits of the app and all the special technical data in it. So that ultimately, from what I have researched and dove into quite a bit and asking other folks in the industry, as in myself, asking other coworkers in different careers, asking how can this be exploited, that is what I have come up with. Now, like I said, hypotheticals is you could, yes, they could backdoor and stuff like that, but ultimately these are fairly safe systems. Now, some people aren't going to believe me, and some people are going to be in the boat like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And that's fine. That's your decision. You're allowed to run with what you want. You have to be aware of certain circumstances, but as long as you're smart with these devices, know where you're at, and understand how they work and how they can be exploited, you can enjoy these devices. I still continue to use them. I will wear them, I enjoy them, and I know the drawbacks and the specific situations or concerns that they bring. And I will take them off and go to analog sometimes, like this GSAR, right? Certain scenarios in my career, I have to leave these alone, but sometimes I don't, and I like the features of it. So that was kind of a layman's terms of just, hey, where does this go? How can it be exploited? How can it not? This is just my interpretation of it. There's going to be experts in the comments. There's going to be other people just saying whatever they want. That's fine. This is just an intro or information for you to think about. I still like Garmin a lot, and I will continue to use the watches. And ultimately, Garmin has no idea that I'm doing this. As well, I have no affiliation with them. If you are interested in purchasing some of these devices, I will leave some links in the description box below because I am an Amazon affiliate, so I get a few cents or $1 or $2 depending on what device you purchase, and it helps me and the channel out to literally buy you more devices like this literally $1,600 Garmin, which is expensive, but you guys help me out with that, and then I can show you more information about it. Stay tuned for upcoming updates on the Tactix 8. At this point in time, there's a lot more coming. So other than that, we also have patches and stickers over at the Big Cartel website if you're interested. That helps out the channel too immensely. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this was a kind of an informational piece for you on how can your devices be potentially exploited. Other than that, I hope y'all have a great day.